I'm with Robert Sawyer here. Robert Sawyer is the technology partner at Sikich, and he's the author of Partner Selection Criteria in our ERP implementation guide. So you mentioned in your section, Robert, that there's hundreds of Microsoft partners in the US. How do you go about selecting the right partner in such a vast channel?
Yeah, so it can be quite a daunting task. You start with Google, you use some keywords, and then the list starts, revealing itself. And already you realize that it's going to require a tremendous amount of effort. So we do have some preliminary suggestions, especially coming from a partner. We know the different ways that we get selected. We know the different ways that we participate with selection firms. And best practices in our opinion is there are cloud competencies. There are 4 primary core areas from Microsoft. So that's where I would start. And then from there, it would be narrowing down who's the most qualified within that group. Gold recommendation and cloud business applications would be the first primary. But because ERP is not in a box, meaning that there are other things that from a technology standpoint, a digital transformation initiative your firm may be reviewing, you want to look at what is their depth of experience. How can they help not only implement ERP in this example, but what is their breadth of offering? And so that's going to be really helpful because there are people that specialize, and that's very good. But again, you're trying to accomplish so much more than just ERP in a box. It's the strategic operations, and you want somebody that can help you think more broadly, more from a business perspective, and not just solely focused on delivering just their value add technology.
Great. I think that's very helpful. So what if you're already working with a Microsoft partner? Do you recommend vetting other partners, or should you just kind of stay put?
I don't know that it's a one or the other type of discussion. I think it's important if you have that relationship with your Microsoft partner that you engage them in the conversation. Depending on their level of business, meaning how long they've been in this channel, how long they've been through these types of processes, most would understand, okay, this is maybe more of a corporate strategic due diligence effort. Some may take that a little bit offensive in that, hey, we've worked with you so many years, we've had business there's an assumption that this is just going to be a continuing relationship without challenge. And I don't think challenge, I think we all grow through sometimes personal and professional challenges. There's nothing wrong with that as long as it's presented in the right context. And you could basically say, hey, look, we went through this evolution where our company grew together. We implemented this technology. We're at a different place now where we want to continue this growth pattern. Here's the criteria that we're looking at. We're potentially looking at reviewing other Microsoft partners to see, what other solutions could they offer? Do they have a more of a depth than what our current partner does? And I think engaging, in my opinion, professional relationship with your current partner would be important. But I think as far as a firm is concerned, it'd be important to do your own due diligence just the same, independently from what your partner's input is.
Awesome. So recently there's been a move towards clients looking at how they can self-resource or self-manage their own upgrade projects in order to reduce their reliance on ERP partners. Is this really a DIY project? And what advice would you give clients that want to tackle this project on their own?
So I smile because I know that in this question, in my response, the assumption is there's going to be some level of bias. I'm a Microsoft partner. Of course, I want you to leverage a Microsoft partner. And the reason why I say that, and let me try to frame my response in that there are so many caveats. And the thing is, you don't know what you don't know. And I know that's a general blasé statement that a lot of people reference. But what you don't know is what could come back to haunt you in the sense of how are you managing risk? Not being aware of the risk doesn't mean the risk doesn't exist. So if you have a current staff that maybe have been prior consultants, maybe they have worked at a Microsoft partner, they at least have a good implementation framework. What I've seen be the most challenge is not only is your company at the learning level they need, because with technology and Microsoft, there's a lot of change. It's constantly, as a technology firm as a Microsoft partner, we're constantly having to make sure that we're staying current. So Are you aware of all the challenges that's going on within application change? Do you have a risk mitigation plan in place? Do you have a communication plan? Are you treating this like a professional project, or is this just going to be an additional side hat for somebody to do to try to save money? Because the challenge there is, no matter what your timeline is, I think it's probably going to lean towards being extended, because if there's not a driven and specific plan with executive sponsorship, this is where all those X factors start to come into play. So it's a do-it-yourself project. It could be with the right supporting elements, the right professional plan and engagement, and the right due diligence placed in building out all of the different components that are required to implement ERP. With that being said, if you feel like you're ready to self-insure that risk, then we can also augment that support. If not, then it's at least, I think, engaging, I would say important to engage a Microsoft partner so they can at least tell you, here are the things that you need to consider.
Great. Thank you, Robert. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.